Welcome everyone to Wines of Italy livestream. So this is the first Wines of Italy of the year because last week we had the digital vino, which was the COVID version of my live stream. Today I have Marco Marrocco from Palazzo Tronconi in Lazio, and we will just have a short intro before we get back to Marco. Okay, so welcome Marco and welcome everybody who are listening in. So if you want to ask any questions, you can just put them in the comments. Would you want to jump in? I can also give you the link. So Marco is doing a producer doing biodynamic wine in Lazio. And do you want to present yourself?
Indeed. So thank you very much to invite me here. And I'm Marco Marrocco. I'm the owner and enologist of Palazzo Tronconi. Palazzo Tronconi is the name of my estate. Actually, I'm in Arce, in Frosinone province, between Rome and Naples, in Lazio region, but very close to Campania region. So I'm in the southern part of Lazio. And I'm famous to have rediscovered ancient and indigenous varieties that they were totally abandoned since 2009, like Lecinaro, Raspato, Maturano, Capolongo, and Pampanaro. The first two are red grapes. The last three are white grapes.
So tell us a bit about how you got started to produce wine, because you also did something else before. You were not a winemaker from the beginning.
Yes, actually, I was a mechanical engineer. I worked for my family company in the elevators field. And in 2007, I was not even a wine drinker. My family that originally came from Arce, moved to Rome in 1970, and there my father started this job inside around the elevator topic, and there I go back to my little village in 2007 because the idea was to build, to create an estate and to invest money in the wine industry, you know. But at that time, I was not even a wine drinker, so I just applied for a sommelier course. Started this course. I felt in love of the wine world. And there I decided to create a new estate, actually, a new winery. In that moment, I met this guy. That name was Gaetano Ciolfi. Actually, I forgot to tell you that after that, I decided to go back to the university. And in 2014, if I remember, I took another degree in winemaking. So I got enologist. And there at the university, I met this guy. The name was Gaetano Ciolfi. Was my professor of microbiological and enology in university. And this guy told me that he had just registered these indigenous varieties. You know, you must know that if you want to declare on the front label, on the back label, the name of the grape, this grape must be registered. Because as you know, in Italy, I think we have almost 1,800 different kind of indigenous varieties. Yeah. But anyway, if you want to mention one of them, they must be registered. So Gaetano took 10 years have this process done, and it started in the year 2000 and it finished in the year 2009. So in 2010, I bought the first land, the first piece of land, and the 25th of February 2011, I planted back these new, old indigenous varieties in this new vineyard. Since there, everything started from there, actually.
Mm. So, I mean, did you already know that these grapes existed, or did you discover them when you bought the estate?
Absolutely, I knew them very well because my grandfather used to look after them. Everyone here in my little piece of my little village used to have their own vineyard. I mean, a very small vineyard, like in acres, not more, just for the use of the family. And my grandfather used to look after Lecinaro, Pampanaro, Madurano, Calungo, and Raspado in his vineyard, and I used to help him during the treatment, in the summer season, when my mother and my father came back from Rome. They left me here, and I really love to help my grandfather. That's why actually I decided to quit my job as an engineer and to begin this new experience here in Arce. So I moved from Rome to Arce.
But how did you get into the biodynamics? Did you want to do biodynamics from the beginning? Or?
Yes, no, I mean, this is another story. Everything starts from the university. When I used to go to university, and I'm talking about my second degree, I always talk about this experience to my customers that come to visit me here in my winery. When I used to take them for a wine tour, I always talk about this experience, how I decide to go at least organic, to choose at least organic agriculture, and then I moved to biodynamic. It was simple. It was really simple because I was attending one of my exam. I remember the name in English would be pathology, vines pathologist, and I always remember this professor came inside my classroom the first day. I started to talk about all these different kind of molecules that we absolutely must use if you want to produce grapes in Italy. So we start to tell us about more than 100, 200 different kind of molecules, like chimoxanil, mancozeb, medium, all these weird molecules. So, and he also told us about the side effect of these molecules, especially for the people that must use it inside the vineyard. The first one to be exposed are the employees, actually me. At the time it was me, because I was just me inside the vineyard. So indeed, I didn't want to get poisoned by myself, So I decided to at least to choose for the organic agriculture. At that time, I had in my classroom Simone Noro. Simone Noro is the son of Carlo Noro, and Carlo Noro here in the Lazio region is the most famous biodynamic producer. At that time, he was an horticulturist, and Carlo taught me about biodynamic agriculture. He started to talk about this different kind of approach at the agriculture. I started to taste his vegetable, and I noticed that there was something else, especially I always remember his tomatoes, tomatoes, that taste so different from the tomatoes that you go to buy at the market. And then I met another guy that was one of his students, was Pierovacciocca, La Visciola. It's another micro estate, winery estate here in Lazio. And I start to taste is wine made by spontaneous fermentation. And I was impressed. I was impressed with their final result, actually. I didn't want to mention any the anthroposophy or other weird things about biodynamic agriculture. I wanted at the time just tasted the wines. The wine were amazing. So I just said, if biodynamic agriculture can produce this kind of wine, I go for biodynamic agriculture, you know. And plus,
how long did it take you to kind of set up the winery and arrive to become biodynamic? Okay, now I think we lost him, but he will be back. Okay, here he is.
Ecco qua, sorry. No, I mean, actually, when I was, I met Carlo, I met Piero Maciocca when I was about to plant my vineyard. So I started to do biodynamic agriculture directly.
Okay.
So and from there, everything starts from there. At the beginning, sorry, I didn't tell you that about that, but at the beginning, my estate was just 2.2 hectares. Now I'm arrived at 14.2 hectares of vineyard and 6.5 hectares of olive trees and 1 hectare of wild cherries. From where I produce a ratafia, that is particular sweet wine from this area of.
So, what is the particularities of the terroir and the territory where you are between Rome and Naples?
So, as I told you, I'm from Marche. The village is between Rome and Naples, in the southern part of from Rome and Naples, very close to Lazio region, and I'm half away from the mountains, you know.
Yeah.
How do you say Apennini in English?
The Apennines.
The Apennines, yes, between the Apennines and the sea, and the seaside. Actually, I'm 30 kilometers away as a crow fly from the sea, from the seaside.
So you have the wind from both sides?
Absolutely. Here we have the kind of problem because when you used to treat the vines, you know, during the period between May and July, we must treat the vines in the morning because at the afternoon at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Starts this wind that comes from the seaside, you know. This breeze from the seaside is typical. So we have to do everything in the morning. It's typical. And at the same time, we have also in the winter time, we have the effect of the cold that comes from Athens. But anyway, we have we have very low, very few rain here. It doesn't rain a lot, absolutely. My grandfather always.
Okay, I think his connection is a bit. Okay, you're back.
My grandfather used to told me that here in this area, area of Arce, there is a microclimate very different from the other part of the village. You know, actually, my winery is in this neighborhood that they call it Tramonti. That means sunset here in Arce. In Tramonti, we have no rain. Always my grandfather used to tell me that, you know, but I could not understand what was he trying to say to me. But now I realize that here in Tramonti doesn't rain ever.
Okay.
Ever. It's incredible. I mean, for us, it's very, in my opinion, it's very good because, especially for the disease. if that we have no rain, we don't treat the vines, you know, because everything comes from the rain, you know, especially mildew.
But you still have enough water, or
no water? Absolutely no water. No water. We try to dig a well here at 200 meters down. That we found no water. No water.
Okay.
Actually, the good thing about I was starting to talk about the soil. It's clay, heavy clay, and actually it was very good for me to have clay, because when the clay can be filled by water during winter time, after in the summertime I have no problem of water. But we must do a very good job to plant the vine at the beginning. If you do a good job at the beginning, you have no problem of water here, and that's a good thing.
Okay.
For the clay.
Okay. So how would you say that your winery has developed? I mean, because I know that also Lazio as a wine region has developed a lot during the last few years. I mean, I think there's a lot of more focus on Lazio compared to 10 years ago. So how does your winery fit into this picture of Lazio as a, because they're very well known for smaller and biodynamic or natural wine producers.
Actually, since I began, I'm talking about 11 years ago, I noticed that the attention about Lazio region is increasing a lot. And I think it's even just for the work that we did here, focusing on indigenous varieties, focusing on sustainable agriculture, and even if we are always talking about micro estate, my surface is still considered a micro estate, even if it's got 14 hectares of vineyard.
Quite small.
Quite small. I have colleagues now that are starting that they have just 1 hectare of vineyard doing biodynamic agriculture. But the result of the work is amazing. They're producing fantastic wine. Little by little, I mean, the number of the estates are increasing very fast. But the surface of all of them all together is still very, very small. You know, you must know that maybe the organic winery in Italy, organic wine produced in Italy could be around 10-15% of the market. I don't know. But I think that the biodynamic wine don't even arrive at 1% of overall.
So, the people who are completely biodynamic, because there's a lot of people who use some method in the vineyard only.
Yeah. So
okay, we're soon coming back. Okay,
it's a pause, and so the attention about Lazio wine, Lazio natural wine is increasing year after year. But actually, we must know, Katarina, that we always the idea of the Lazio wine producer was always to try to sell our wine in our first market. Our first market is Rome, you know. But the problem that Rome didn't want drink Lazio wine because the Lazio wine was always associated to the wine of the castles, you know, the Roman castles, you know, that it was very low quality wine. That's why in Rome they never drink Lazio wine. Now in this period, this is 2-3 years, Rome is increasing the consume of Lazio natural Lazio wine a lot. There are a lot of wine bars are opening. A lot of restaurants are starting to have in their wine list Lazio wine, natural wine. And for us, it's gonna be, I'm sure, the first market where we're gonna sell our wine.
Well, also because when the pandemic will be over, hopefully there will be a lot of tourists again who probably will be interested.
Maybe because I didn't tell you that now I'm almost exporting the 60-70% of my wine abroad. But in the last 2 years, the requests from Rome were increased a lot, so much, especially from Travizzino. I don't know if you know Travizzino there in Firenze. Maybe they just opened one. I'm not sure. It's a kind of Roman wine bar that are opening almost everywhere here in Italy, and now they even open a wine bar in New York. And there, the idea of Travizzino is to export with their food also the Lazio wine. And they are helping us a lot, incredibly.
Okay. And how was because I know you have a lot of, or you used to have a lot of wine tourism and wine tours. Because I know when I visited some wineries in Cori, they said that it was a bit difficult to get the tourists to go outside of Rome to come all the way down to them. So how did you manage to get the international tourists?
Actually, I have this amazing friend, fantastic friend, that is Emily. She's living in London. She's English, and she has his own Palazzo Tronconi page on Instagram, Palazzo Tronconi Italy actually, and she's promoting a lot our farmhouse, because actually it's not only a winery. This one, it's also a farmhouse. I have a bed and breakfast. Stay and eat here. So Emily is helping me to promote the farmhouse and all the experience that we can propose here, like cooking classes, pizza classes,
Yeah.
And there is all the activities that you can have here. So actually, with Emily, and a lot also with the fairs, because when I go outside to attend
the wine fair.
The wine fairs, exactly. I always I'm not trying only to promote the wine, but I try to promote my territory. And actually, because I noticed that people is not only curious to buy a bottle of wine, but he wants to buy a piece of Italy, in that moment. And it was to buy an experience, So I always told them, invite them to come to visit me, because for me it's very important. It's not only about business, It's always to try to let them know that there is a different kind of tourist that they can face coming here. It's not only Rome, it's not only Naples, it's not Amalfi or Sorrento. Here there is this region, this part of the region, we call it the Ciociaria. Actually, it's the Frosinone province. We call it Ciociaria. That is yet to discover, And
well, I mean, there's a lot of Lazio to discover that is not Rome, that I think hasn't really been that much in focus in the last decades. So there's a question from Evelyn. Evelyn has a Facebook group called Fine Wine Buzz, and she asks she says that she had read that there's lack of water in Italy in general as a national concern due to the climate change, because the temperatures get warmer. Do you agree with that, or do you have anything to say?
I mean, it's crazy. Time is crazy here, Actually, I remember every past year for a different kind of situation. I have a very bad memory, but I can remember the days where everything happens. I'm talking about the 2017. The 2017 was very famous because we have here a tremendous frost for 3 nights in a row, 17, 18, and 19 of April. That destroyed almost everything. Destroyed. 2017. 25th of July 2018, a tremendous hail, 50 hectares of estate destroyed by the hail. 19 was good, 20 was good, 2021, the 8th of April, we have the frost. Now we're trying to face the frost, trying to prune as I say, in the last moment, you know, normally we used to prune when the leaves start to fall down, you know.
Yes.
I mean the beginning of December. Now we are moving all the pruning to the beginning of March. And try to prune 14 hectares the beginning of March when the vines are about to blossom. You know, it's a crazy thing. You know. So
well, also because the weather is so changing, so it can be winter in April again, as you said. So Emily has a comment. She says, "Well, that B&B in cooking classes surely helps to create Italian experience." I think there were some other comments. No. So if we go over to talk about the wines, so I know I have a wine that Andrea Ciancolini, who is promoting your wines in Tuscany, he gave me this bottle and also the red. So I hadn't really tasted this one before because I think you had only brought the 2 others to the tasting last year. Do you want to talk about a bit Fatia? What's the what can you tell about this wine?
So Fatia, that one is the 2018. Because in 2019, 2020, 21, I didn't produce Fatia because I had a problem with the Malvasia puntinata. Malvasia puntinata is it's 100% Malvasia puntinata or Lazio Malvasia. It's a typical Malvasia from Lazio region, but it's not aromatic at all. You know, even if it's got this name Malvasia, but it's not aromatic, and it's a typical Malvasia of Lazio. That year. 2018, it was just 48 hours of skin maceration, or indeed spontaneous fermentation inside concrete tank.
Okay.
It stayed in concrete tank. I don't remember, maybe 12 months, something like that, and that's it. It went into the bottle. 2018. Actually, is the Fadia won some prize, I think in 2 years ago, on the guide Vini Buoni d'Italia. Vini Buoni d'Italia is the guy that is specialized, very good. He's specialized in indigenous varieties, and it comes from old vineyards. Vineyard that are planted in 1970.
Okay.
And you can taste the result. I think it's one of my best wine in Fadia. And now I'm trying to do it again in next harvest. We will see what happens, you know, because every year there's a surprise. So, but yeah, anyway, it's got a very strong body, you know. It's got this strong sapidity that comes mostly comes from the spontaneous fermentation, more than a solid, you know. And as you can see, you are tasting a 2018 white wine. We are in the 2022 now, almost spent 4 years, and
it's very good now. I think it has a the color is. I guess you did did you do the maceration? Did you say that or?
Yes, I did maceration for 48 hours. You know, not big thing, and as you can see, the longevity of this white wine is incredible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, until he gets back, it's very enjoyable wine, very structured, very strong nose. Okay, we're back. If we mention also, now I can't remember the name of the blend that I wrote about.
So you tasted the past.
Fregela, no? How do you pronounce it?
Fregele. Fregele is an ancient Roman colony that was discovered here in Arce. Fregele was built by Roman 328 before Christ and was destroyed by Roman 125 before Christ. I dedicate to Fregele this wine. The 2018 that you tasted was a blend between Maturano, Capolongo, and Pampanaro. Three indigenous varieties typically from here Arce. But in 2019, I decided to do different, to vinify them separately.
Okay.
And that's why Fregele 19 is coming out actually with 3 different crew. Fregele Capolongo, Fregele Pampanaro, Fregele Maturano. That Fregele 2018 was always, I think, 20 days of skin contact. In 2018, I think I used the skin of Pampanaro to do the maceration, and you taste the result. It was a really interesting wine.
Yeah. How would you say that the 3 different grapes? What do they bring to the wine? Each of them.
As I used to say to my customers, they have this grape have different name and last name to the other one. They're totally different. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about Capolongo. I'm talking about Pampanaro. Pampanaro here in Arce. The old man used to put down in their vineyard a lot of Pampanaro because it produces a lot of grape, this kind of vines, and with a low alcoholic grade, low like around 11, 11.5. So it produces a lot of must, and a lot of juice, and the skin is very thin. Actually, the skin doesn't give anything to your wine. That's why, even if I can do a 20 days of maceration, as I did now with the Fregele 2019 that is just Pampanaro, I leave it I vinified the Pampanaro 2019 in amphoras, and I leave in the amphoras the skin for 11 months. If you see the wine, the wine is clear, it's transparent, So even if it could be an orange, it could be classified as an orange. It's got a very nice acidity. It's not so complicated wine to drink, and that's why it has a great success also among a public that is not used to drink natural wine, because it's a very simple wine. You don't have to convince them that it's good because it's natural. They just drink it, they enjoy it, and then you can say that it's even natural.
Well, that's the good thing, no?
Sorry?
That's the good thing about the wine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you talked about amphora. So what is your ideas about how do you use which wines do you use amphoras for? And
so you want to know my idea about amphoras?
Yes.
Okay. So 4 years ago, I bought these 3 amphoras, 2 amphoras of 400 liters, another one of 750 liters. In my opinion, amphoras are very good for if you want to put down inside olive trees, lemon trees. You can use for them, but for the vinification, I prefer other things like concrete, concrete and stainless steel. All life long, for all my life stainless steel. But just for one reason, Katarina, for us that we want to produce a clean wine with no defect, it's very important that all the tank that we are about to use can be sanified very easily. You know, the amphora doesn't ensure that, like wood. Wood is the same problem. You know, I took out all the woods that I used to use here just for the concrete. Now I'm using only concrete tank because I think they do the best job.
Ah, you have concrete. Okay.
Sorry?
You have concrete.
Yes, I have concrete, and actually now. But now I'm even going back to the use of stainless steel.
Okay, we're soon coming back again. Okay.
Just for the idea that they're very easy to clean. For us, using a very low concentration of sulfites, all this kind of wine are unprotected. You know, so they can be receive any disease easily. You know, so for us it's very important that even everything here and the wine must be clean and easy to clean even. You know, and sometimes about amphoras, sometimes it's like wood. You know, if you want to produce a wine that can be a product of your territory, sometimes the use of the amphoras can cover totally the work that you do in your wine. The taste. Sorry?
Yeah. No, I agree. That's true. That's true. But you don't use wood at all now, not even for the reds?
Sorry?
You don't use oak at all, not even for the reds?
Right now, yes, I'm using oak. I'm using oak for just big tank of 25 hectoliters. You know, of oak that I bought in 2016, and now almost 6 years old. So well used. You know. Actually, I'm more fan of wood than amphoras, in my opinion.
Okay.
Even because
large casks, not barrique.
I mean, large wood. For me, the best are concrete. Concrete is the best. You know.
No, I agree because it's difficult with these kind of grapes. I think it would also be difficult to not mask the grape varieties with the oak or the wood.
I mean, in my opinion, you know, I'm producing Lecinaro, I'm producing Raspado, I'm producing Maturano, Caronga, and Pampanaro. If I'm putting them inside the amphoras 26 months with a skin contact, or I put them in a new oak barrel, you know, I'm destroying all the work that I do in my wine, you know, because this wine could taste like any other wine. So, in my opinion, in this point of view, stainless steel could be the perfect one if you want to really taste the grape, you know.
That is true.
The good.
Sorry? If you say something about the red wines, I know you make the Lecinaro that you talked about, but I think you do some other red too, no?
No, yes, but I don't know if you have this label. Do you have the old one, the white one? This is the Zidore.
Yeah, I have the red one. Yes.
With the white label, I can see it. This is the new label. Zidore is it's made by Lecinaro 2019. Lecinaro is it's a very interesting grape. It's a very interesting grape because with Lecinaro I do everything. In Arce, Lecinaro is like the pig. You know, with the pig you can do whatever you want. You know, you use all the parts of the pig. And Lecinaro is the same thing. With the Lecinaro, I do Zidore. This wine that is a classical red, 21 days of skin contact maceration. Then I do a rosé. That name is Fradiaur. 12 hours of skin contact. I also produce a Giziello that is a pet nut.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on the website.
With I use the mass to do the certain fermentation inside the bottle. I produce Cloy. Cloy is my classic method that you won surprise on the Vini Buoni last year. With my first year that I was coming out with a classic method with the champagne.
You use Lecinaro for that one too.
Yes, it's a right vinification. You must know that Giziello and Cloy are, as I used to say, are the sons of a thunderstorm. These two wines were born after the tremendous hailing that I was talking about earlier, the 25th of July 2018. So I had this tremendous hail that destroyed mostly the production, and I have all this Lecinaro that he didn't want to get right. He was stuck at 10 alcoholic percent of alcohol. So we decided to do a sparkling wine, a sparkling wine.
Okay.
So what can we do with them? At that time, Michele Lorenzetti, my wine consultant, just to joke, he came inside the wine and he said to me, Marco, let's prepare to produce fantastic sparkling wine this year because we have no chance to produce regular wine. So
it seems like a good option, no?
Yes, that's was an incredible option because these two wines had a success. You can even imagine what kind of success has these two wine. And now most of the production goes for Giziello and Cloy. It was very interesting. Here in Rome that getting pissed for this bottle. Everyone is calling me to ask bottle of Cloy. I have no bottles of Cloy. No bottle of Cloy.
All sold out.
Yeah, sold out.
So in which countries do you export to for those people who would like to find your wines?
Mostly United States, New York State, Illinois State, California, and that's it. And now in Quebec, and then in Europe, Paris, and even England, Berlin, and Denmark, indeed, not in Sweden.
It's a bit difficult, even if they're very into natural wine, but it's a bit more difficult to get into the Swedish market. So how many bottles do you do totally in general? You don't know.
What a question. It depends. It depends about that one upstairs, It could be, it's also dependent about my vineyard because actually the 80% of the 14 hectares they are planted in the last 3 years. So they are starting producing. But now I arrived this year, 2021, I think 32,000 barrels.
That's really good.
But the idea is to arrive to 60,000, 70,000, 60,000. That's the...
Okay, we will soon have him back again, I think. Let's see if there was something else.
Ecco qua.
No, I wanted to see if there was a question, but it was, I'll have to talk to a Swedish importer.
Bye, Katarina, talk, please. Talk, help me.
I don't think I have much influence in Sweden right now.
It's okay.
But,
I'll try.
So is there anything else you think people should know about your winery, about your region, your area?
Yes. Absolutely. Now we are now a new group of wine producer are about to board here in this area. The name of this group is going to be Ciociaria Naturale, Natural Ciociaria. It's a group of 10, 11 natural wine producer that we are trying to put all together to promote the idea of organic, at least organic agriculture, the spontaneous fermentation, the promoting of indigenous varieties, all together to promote the territory, especially to promote the territory in Rome. Rome is, as I told you, for us it's going to be a very interesting market, the most important market for us, for many reasons, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're trying to promote the area to promote the wine tourists here. Mostly of this guys that are participating in Ciociaria Naturale have a bed and breakfast, the kind of restaurant, home restaurant, stuff like that. Trying to let tourists come.
Yeah. Now that seems like a good initiative, no?
Yeah.
But how many producers? So there are like 10. Are there that many producers in the Ciociaria
Naturale? Actually, we are 10, 11. 10, 11.
Okay. And you're all natural or biodynamic, or as you said?
Actually, natural and biodynamic. Most of them are biodynamic. There are some of them that are just natural, natural, organic. But the most important part is the spontaneous fermentation. For us, spontaneous fermentation is more important than all different kind of certification. If you do spontaneous fermentation, probably you are a natural wine producer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it does make a difference. So
yes, we can discuss about spontaneous fermentation for 10 hours in a row. But in my opinion, if you want to produce a natural wine, if you want to produce a clean wine that actually is not so freaky or funky, as they used to say, the Americans used to say funky. If you want to produce a clean wine, you want to do spontaneous fermentation, you must do a fantastic, great work inside the vineyard, because all the problems start in the vineyard. When you get your
okay, so we're talking about the problems in the vineyard.
Yeah. I always argue about these things with my colleagues, tasting different kind of wine that have maybe.
Okay, I think it's coming back.
No, the problem now that all the people is coming back to their houses, and now everyone is they are using.
Yeah. They're taking all the bandwidth. I don't know if you know, because Evelyn says, because there's Paul Mabray who has started the Fix Wine, so actually you could get registered there on it's this kind of new
Sorry, what is...
No, she was talking about Pix Wine, which is this new initiative by Paul Mabray, which is kind of a AI-driven platform to bring producers and consumers together. So I think if you have interest in your, you can register though.
Thank you very much.
So that's, I don't think there were any other questions. What were we talking about? Okay, I think he has a bit. We were talking about the vineyards. Ah, Emily, I think that's a friend of yours.
Ciao Emily. Ciao.
So Emily, we've been talking now with Marco for quite some time. If you have any questions you want to add, because otherwise I think we will soon round it up. Let's see. No, we're still here. If you have anything you want to comment on, don't worry. So basically for what's for dinner?
Chicken.
Okay.
Chicken with red pepper.
So which wine of yours will you pair with the chicken? Let's see if he comes back.
Chicken with red peppers. I will pair with my Fregele 2020 that you got inside my cellar. Is that in 2020? Actually, the last 2 years, I'm experimenting a new kind of vinification. You know, now there's this passion in this area to carbonic maceration. You know, I did a partially carbonic maceration in the last 2 years with the white wine and with the Fregele 2020-2019. Capolungo was made Capolungo. I do the carbonic maceration, and I left the berries, the wool berries inside the tank, the concrete, for 20 days. And the wine that now was bubbled and inside my cellar, I tasted last 1 week ago. It's it seems like an orange wine because Capolungo has a very.
He's coming back.
Capolungo has a very strong skin, you know? And it gives to the wine a lot of tannins, and wine has got a very nice structure, and I think it seems like orange now, like a color, but it has a very strong smell for the carbonic maceration, and it's even almost ready. It's not so strong in your mouth, but anyway, it's got a very nice body, and I think it's gonna work very well with my chicken.
Sounds good. So if you would, the two last, yes, the Fregele.
Yes.
Two different versions.
Yes.
So I forgot to ask before, a typical local food pairing with your wine, which would that be?
I mean, now the cuisine of this area is a very poor cuisine, you know, and normally we used to pair this wine with a dish of fettuccine with meatballs, you know, or kind of ravioli or tortelli, we call it, you know, with the pecorino cheese inside that is liquid. You know, we put liquid inside. It's amazing because we must hear wool inside your mouth, and then it explodes in your mouth the pecorino cheese, and because it's liquid, and with the tortelli or ravioli, you can suggest a white Fregele.
Yeah.
With the fettuccine, with the red sauce and meatballs, I suggested Zitore because it's a red. It's a red and it has a very smooth tan. It's, you know, not so strong. I think it could.
That's true.
Could pair with the fettuccine. I cannot cover the taste of the fettuccine. And another dish here that's typical from this area are gnocchi. Gnocchi is it's a kind of pasta made with potato and wheat, white wheat. And the sauce is very important. Normally, used to for the red sauce, we used to prepare it with part of the pig. Normally, here to prepare a nice sauce, it takes almost 5-6 hours cooking the meat inside the tomato sauce and with the gnocchi. As a second dish, here it's very famous the black pig. It's a kind of pigs that are typically from this area. Black pig from Caserta is the species.
Yeah.
The species. And it's typically from this area because it's a kind of black pig that produces a lot of fat. There's a lot of fat and not a lot of not meat, you know. So, but the fat is very sweet, like the jamón serrano, the Spanish ham, you know, and it produces a lot of fat that is very sweet. And we cook it on the grill or in the oven, you know, with tomato, and with the potato, and for that kind of wine, I suggest we didn't talk about Donico. Donico is 100% of Raspato. It's a red grape that is got a very strong. It reminds me a little bit of Aglianico or Nero d'Avola. It's a very strong wine. We can pair with kind of because it can clean your mouth from the fat of the.
Okay. Well, it all sounds very delicious, so we all have to try those dishes. It's an area I don't know that well yet, I must say, so I still have to discover it. So I think there weren't any more questions. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Feel free to ask them. I just also wanted to say again that, as I promised Andrea, that he's the one who introduced me to you and who also gave me. Yeah, I think you can. She can ask you more about the food, I think. So Andrea Ciancolini is the one who introduced me to you, Marco, and I tasted your wines last autumn. So thank you for that, and I also got the 2 bottles from Andrea. And I think it's been a really nice start to learn more about your winery and the area in southern Lazio. And I don't know, do you have anything to add?
Just come to visit me. I'm inviting you, Katarina, to come to visit me. I'm inviting all the people that is listening to me now, come to visit me because it's the best way to taste my territory. You know, come here, come to visit me, and I'm sure you're gonna be enthusiastic about it. You know, because it's you can still experiment the real Italian lifestyle here. Because here, if you go in downtown in Aceh, it's very hard to find someone that can speak English. So there you will find the real Italian lifestyle. Because anyway, we will find a way to communicate. Don't worry.
Well, that sounds very good.
Okay.
So thank you, Marco. And I also put a link to your website. So if anybody wants to contact Marco, you can do that. And I also put the link to my newsletter if anybody wants to sign up. Evelyn also found a link to your importer in the US, I think.
Yes.
If anybody wants to look for the wines. And next week we will have a winery from Campi Flegrei, Cantina Stroni, Cristina, one of the cousins managing it, I think. She will be the guest, so we will learn more about this, which is another very micro area in Campania, not in Lazio, but they're very close.
Very close, yes.
So thank you again, Marco. And for those of you who are, I see that there are people checking in now. So we've been talking about wine in Lazio, in Arce. biodynamic wine producer. So you can listen to the replay soon, and if you want to know more, you can write directly to Marco. And I think that's all. So thanks again, and I hope to come and visit you soon as the Omicron is going away, hopefully. Okay, so see you next week, and thanks again.
Grazie
Ciao.
Katarina, grazie tante, grazie a tutti. Come to visit me and thank you very much. Bye bye.
Ciao.